How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
Why is Marvel doing better than DC in video games? That is a question that I've been asking myself, particularly for this video that I'm making. The idea for this video stemmed from that question, and I've kind of just been asking myself, why is Marvel just overall, just in gaming? Like, I'm not talking about anything else. I'm just talking particularly gaming. Why is Marvel doing better than DC? It just seems like, as of late, Marvel has just been, like, in terms of like the video game side, has just been nailing it, for a lack of better word, like, in terms of just like not only just like the single player superhero games. Like, obviously we have like Spider-Man, and we're getting, it seems like, a bunch of other single player story driven games, but like even just in the multiplayer, if you want to call it, live service aspect of gaming, they seem to be also succeeding in that front with like games like Marvel Rivals, and also the newly announced freaking Marvel Tokon fighter game, that, it's a Marvel fighting game, and it looks pretty cool. And obviously I've played Marvel Rivals, I've put hours, hundreds of hours into that game, and I've been enjoying it a lot. And it just seems like when it comes to Warner Bros. Or just DC, like, in terms of their video games, they seem to not know what they're doing. And another reason why I'm making this video, and this was something that was kind of talked about a couple of weeks ago, so I'm kind of late to the news, but there was an article posted about, or I guess there was a jobs listing thing. Whenever it comes to like video games, it kind of seems like we're quick to pick up on what like kind of game that a studio is going to make, depending on the jobs listing of it. But there was a jobs listing posted for WB Montreal to basically for a new video game that they're making. And in that job listing posting, or like whatever you want to call it, there was a job that kind of talked about, it was to oversee post-launch content and live service strategy, ensuring ongoing player engagement. So you read that and you kind of get you get scared, because you look at that, or you hear that, and you think to yourself, oh, they're making another live service AAA game. And you think to yourself, why? Like, why is WB, specifically WB Games, why are they so, especially after Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, you would think that WB would not want to make another live service game, or even attempt another live service game at this point, especially after the success of Hogwarts Legacy and that game being single player. And it just seems like they haven't really learned their lesson. Now, I'm not saying you can't make a live service DC game. I look at and this is a pretty old game, but I look at DC Universe Online is a free-to-play, massively multiplayer online game set in the fictional universe of DC Comics. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying that you can't make a live service multiplayer ongoing type game. Obviously you can, and I don't even necessarily think this is a live service problem. Like, it is, but I think it's just in the fact that, like, WB seems to want to make their live service games, and they're trying to make these live service games and not even necessarily make the developers can win, because when you look at Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and everything surrounding that game, it seems like WB didn't necessarily make Rocksteady make Suicide Squad Suicide Squad. It seems like the head people at Rocksteady, Aaron Hill, I believe was his name, that used to be the head of Rocksteady but is now gone. It seems like he was the one that actually wanted to make the Suicide Squad game, but I don't know if he necessarily wanted to make it live service. That's a whole nother story. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, when you look at Rocksteady, you look at freaking WB Montreal, and you look at the history of their games, you can obviously tell that, like, they have no past experience with working on live service games. You look at freaking Rocksteady. What are the games that they have made? They have made single player story driven games. That has been their bread and butter, you know, with the Batman games, you know, with the Arkham games, stuff like that. You look at WB Montreal, the only game that I can think of from them is the Arkham Origins, which was obviously a tie to the Arkham franchise. And after that, they made Gotham Knights, which wasn't live service, but it kind of had, it seems like it had elements of it being a live service game. You just look at the freaking UI for that game and like the menu for that game and everything, and it kind of just seems like it had the making of being a live service game, but it just wasn't. So I say all this to say that, like, when you look at Rocksteady, you look at WB Montreal, why pressure them to make these live service games when they have no past experience, and it seems like they have no real passion of making live service games, at least to what I can see? Because when you look at Suicide Squad Killer Justice League, it just seems like, I don't know, like, it just seems like, and I could be, you know, wrong, like, the people working behind that game could have maybe loved working on Suicide Squad Killer Justice League, but when you look at the final product of that game and just how, like, I don't know, the freaking, just the gameplay of it, and like I don't know, just like everything just seems like it wasn't really, it didn't really necessarily seem it came from a position of, yeah, we really wanted to make this type of game. And so going back to Marvel and, you know, the way that they're making games, it looks like they have a smart approach to the way that they are making their games. Like, you look at Marvel and it seems like I don't understand why DC can't do this, but it seems like with Marvel they are able to outsource their games to other publishers. Like, I think that is one of the main things that Marvel is doing right with their, you know, video game division. They outsource their games to, you know, people like Insomniac. Obviously they've made the Spider-Man games, they're making the Wolverine game, they've got freaking Amy Hennig with like the Black Panther Captain America game, she's working on that. They've got NetEase, the people who worked on Marvel Rivals, the freaking massive freaking 5v5, you know, shooter game. Well, it's not really a shooter, it's kind of a shooter. I don't like calling it a 5v5. Well, it is a 5v5. It's basically like Overwatch, but I mean, there's some characters who do have guns in that game, but not every single character has. I don't know, it's kind of weird. But you look at NetEase and they're doing Marvel Rivals, and you look at how successful that game is, and now you look at freaking NetEase, or not NetEase, but Arc System Works, and them making that new Marvel fighting game, and you just look at like Marvel and how they're outsourcing their games, or they're outsourcing their games to these developers who know what they're doing, and they know the type of game that they are good at, and they let them just work on the type of games that they're good at. I mean, Insomniac is good at story-driven single-player games. So, you know, Spider-Man, you know, they make Spider-Man game and it's a story-driven single-player type game. Makes sense. You look at NetEase, they seem to be, you know, good at the actual multiplayer live service type 5v5 shooter thing. okay, that you get Marvel Rivals. You look at Arc System Works, and I forget. I know they've done fighting games in the past, but I can't remember specifically what fighting games they've done. They did Guilty Gear. They did Dragon Ball Fighter Z. So it makes sense that they would be making a fighting Marvel type game. You know, it would be it's like, you know, going to Rocksteady and being like, which is known for their single player story driven games, and going to them and WB going to them and being like, hey, so we know you make story driven, you know, the Batman games and stuff like that, but what about you make a fighting game, a multiplayer fighting game? And you'd be like, why? Because like freaking that, it's like that's not their thing, so why would you? So it's like I don't know, it's like the same thing. It's like that is one of the things that like I can tell is like one of the things that Marvel is doing right, is that they're outsourcing their games to all these developers who seem to know what types of games they want to make, and they, you know, they're not like making them make live service games just for the sake of making live service games. It seems like WB is adamant on tracing this live service trend, because, you know, you look at games like Fortnite, and Fortnite, it makes a bunch of money. Fortnite makes a ton of money, and you have like these executives and you have like these CEOs that look at games like Fortnite and they're like, okay, I mean, Fortnite makes millions and millions of dollars freaking every single year. Okay, freaking we'll get Rocksteady, or we'll get WB Montreal to make a live service game, because that's what, you know, prints money. And, you know, it definitely sucks, because I don't know, I don't want to, like, you know, go out and say like, oh, okay, this new WB Montreal game is going to be trash just because it's a live service game. Obviously, I still want to give it a shot. We don't know anything about it. It could be successful. As of right now, I doubt it, but, you know, WB Montreal could change that. I mean, I don't know. We'll just have to see. But it just seems like Marvel has a better handle on how to make their video games, and just how to like handle just like the video game business as like a whole. And yeah, man, it's just like DC right now. I mean, like, you just look at DC, and Rocksteady is making like because it was announced that Rocksteady is making another single player Batman game, and I don't know if it's going to be tied to the Arkham universe, but like, you look at that game and you're like, okay, Rocksteady, it seems like they're returning to form to, you know, make another Batman game. And hopefully that game can be good. I don't know. I mean, like, you look at, you know, Rocksteady, and it just seems like they're kind of just like a shell of it kind of just seems like they're a shell of themselves now. Like, the head people who originally worked on the Arkham games, like, freaking abandoned ship and freaking left to make their own studio. It seems like a lot of the people who originally worked on the Arkham games are no longer at the studio anymore. So you kind of just think to yourself, is Rocksteady even capable of making a good single player Batman game? And yeah, I mean, I don't know. And you look at WB Montreal, and they've made Gotham Knights, and now they're making this live service game, and it's just like, I don't know, what are we doing? Freaking Wonder Woman got canceled. Yeah, it just seems like DC or Warner Bros, in terms like of the gaming division, doesn't really have a handle on, or a grasp on, what goes into even, like, I don't know, building a brand when it comes to making their video games and stuff like that. It just seems like they're all over the place right now. And yeah, that's basically all I wanted to talk about in this video. And yeah, so in the comments down below, what is your thoughts and opinions on just the state of DC games as like a whole? And do you think that Marvel is doing better? Or why do you think Marvel is doing better just in the video game realm just as a whole than DC? Leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. And yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, and I will see you guys in the next one. So yeah, bye.